why I kept it all the way through ever since I started playing online video games. Fun fact. A little bit of a longer name back then, but I just simplified it down to Fellow. But hey, enough with the monologue. Let's get into the actual matchup. Clubhouse between Wichita Wolves and Jarrison Fan Club, if you need a refresher. And the band's already going in underway. Thatcher's on a chopping block first and foremost, but I think if anyone has watched a single match of Rainbow Six, so long as that one matchup was not on Coastline, they should be pretty used to a Thatcher ban. I don't need to elaborate on that one.
Yeah, Thatcher, very common. Same with Maverick, especially on Clubhouse. Maybe you see a Habana ban or something like that if you wanted to deal with hatches and make that bottom floor next to impossible. But that's the exact response that I'm expecting from Jarrison, right? You ban out the Cade, it makes that bottom floor bomb site just that much more difficult because, well, Wichita Wolves are starting on that defensive side. And obviously, you're going to go down to that bottom floor. Otherwise, that game or that gym and bedroom side becomes your secondary bomb site, I almost feel. But with Mira getting banned out, that also makes, well, pretty much every other one of the bomb sites viable. So the ban phase going pretty much exactly as standard, right? There's nothing really surprising here, Scott. There's I mean, the Mira, like, just being able to control that sort of distance, but that does leave Valkyrie on the board as well because you need to have an information operator. I want to see what Wichita Wolves are going to bring to the board. No information operators, at least not strictly, but we do have a Thunderbird. And Thunderbird, those Kona stations have certainly been, they've made Clubhouse that much easier to play, especially on rafters. I'm seeing them going down to basement first, which is unfortunate, but Thunderbird makes a lot of defendable positions that much more easy to play just because you can replenish your health and things like that. Obviously, if you get your head taken off, there's not much a Kona station is going to do for you at that point. But yeah, I mean, basement first sight. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm honestly in love with the Thunderbird pick as well because she can be used very proactively, whether it be for you're going on a very heavy roam and you want to have Kona set up near your roamers so they can be really aggressive, then back off to a really safe location and then heal up and then get back in the fight. Or if you want to do a very anchor style kind of play and have your Kona set up in also very powerful positions near the bomb sites. And with the lineup that Wichita's rocking, they've got the Pulse, they've got an Aruni. I mean, they don't have any really major roamers. They might have one light lurker somewhere, but other than that, I'm pretty certain that we're seeing a bit of a mix between just a heavy anchor and also maybe one or two players just kind of vibing up above, but not committing a ton to it. Ego might be proving me wrong here, as she is actually setting up a couple of sets of barbed wire up near bedroom and maybe breaking open construction hatch. So we'll see a bit of a heavier roam commit underway, but instead of it just be a full-fledged SSG roam, it's kind of a 50-50 split, which honestly, I'm not really going to be that annoyed with, simply because sometimes a dirt rush can catch you off guard if you are going for that SSG roam. So having a bit of a backup plan is not that bad.
I think the teamwork between Jet and Ali is going to kind of define the success of this upstairs room, right? You depend on those anchor players down there on the site. You have that pulse from Block Tiger to really feed you that information and ensure your safety. But it seems like Jarrison Fan Club are going for a very top-down sort of take, which means that Ali and Eagle are going to have to win some gunfights in order to make this room successful. But with Velociraptor taking into CCTV very early, yes, that barbed wire is going to give a little bit of that positioning away, but look at Jarrison Fan Club's positioning, right? They're going for trades, and E-Girl and Ali, well, they're going to have to do some very good teamwork to keep each other safe. Otherwise, this roam might not mean anything.
Ooh, unlucky there by E-Girl, just missing out on some vital shots. She's kind of getting collapsed upon at the current moment, as Garbage is not that far away either. They don't have the exact pinpoint location, but there we have it. Nice little crossfire goes in underway in the first frag, favoring Jarrison, but they don't know Ali Princess is located up above as well, but luckily they'll shut her down just as effectively. A 5-on-3 already, as the roam game has been dealt with quite well by Jarrison Fan Club, and now they can prioritize taking care of the very bottom floor. You've got those two entries in your back pocket, and now you have a lot of free game to start doing that vertical play because you've kept both Sledge and Ash alive, and a Nitro Cell gets tossed preemptively by Lock Tiger. It's not going to detonate or find a single soul, keeping it to a great man advantage for Jarrison Fan Club. And really, they've got all the time in the world to set up a proper execute into whatever site they please.
Bagel is very good with the shotgun, though, inside of these late round situations. With a minute remaining, Jarrison have all the wherewithal to just pinch down onto the site, and that's going to get Lock Tiger killed. It's going to come down to the two support players from Wichita Wolves to really pull this round back out. And, well, you're only down to one. With Bree falling, that's going to leave Bagel in a very clutch position, but Mine is going to shut that down immediately. And our two caster-based team, let's call them that, the Jarrison Fan Club, will take our first round. And John, Wichita Wolves really couldn't get anything going inside of that round. The roam got shut down very quickly, and then Jarrison just said, hey, let's send it into the site. And yes, Bagel was able to find one, but nothing really after that. Wichita Wolves were comprehensively beaten that round.
It was far too late for the frag to really affect the round. It was a really nice shot, I'm not gonna lie, but other than that, I mean, it was just a little bit of a stat pad, to be honest. With Wichita Wolves, it just came down to not winning the gunfights up above and also not wasting enough time because you got to look at the roam game with a couple of things. You have to burn through utilities such as drones. You maybe need to find a frag here or there, or just waste at least the first half of the action phase. I always mention this. If you can waste about a minute 30 on the board, and that's unlucky, probably a skin issue or some kind of audio bug because Ubisoft is simply Ubisoft. God, I love all chat. I love how that's just an always constant thing. It's just the absolute tomfoolery in all chat. Please keep that up because that is something, that's one of my guilty pleasures, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, back on the roam game, a lot needed to be more desired for Wichita, simply because they just weren't able to waste a lot of time or get any frags. If you can waste about a minute 30 on the board as a roamer and then retreat to go set up back into the bomb site, you've done your job. That's a really good way to roam. Sometimes it's better to do that than find a pick or two here or there and then end up dying in the process. But the fact that really none of that happened, that was just the issue for Wichita. So I'm hoping that they can be a little bit more successful on the roam game because they are going back to church for a second time and running the exact same strategy essentially, except this time Lock Tiger is dead off the rip.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really give you a lot of manpower to work off of, does it? Well,
no.
It certainly does not. And you see Jet and Ali kind of playing closer to site. They're looking to waste a little bit less time. They're instead trying to keep themselves safe. But you have to get a little bit aggressive when you are down a man just to, I guess, keep the vibes up for the team is not the way, or I guess is the way that I would put that. But you also need to earn one of these picks back just to deal with a little bit of the utility that Jarrison are going to bring to the table, right? But actually, Ali making her way back into Moto. So this is going to be a very anchor-heavy setup. And, well, that could be a time-wasting sort of factor on its own, right? You see Jarrison Fan Club going for this upstairs take once again. But, well, there's no one up there for the Wichita Wolves, right? They're all sitting on site, kind of just twiddling their thumbs, waiting for you to cross into their angles. And that could potentially spell a lot of danger for Jarrison Fan Club. I've known this team watching a bunch of the Eris broadcasts. There's some of their timings in late round executions can be a little, I guess, desynchronized. And with the way that Wichita Wolves are playing this round, that could spell a lot of danger.
Oh, but that's unfortunate there. Velociraptor finding a nice frag on towards Bagel. The only one who found success on round number one is now going to be brought down 6 feet under. A 5-on-3. Once again, we're in the exact same scenario, but Bree is in a really good position near Arsenal, and will pick up a nice headshot on towards Mine. So you've got that going for you. That's not too horrible, but that's the only thing really, as you're in a 2-on-4 now. Velociraptor now a second, but she didn't check the blue box leading in towards Motor that will allow Ali Princess to find a very easy frag onto her, and looking a little bit better. You still have to worry about 50 seconds here, as that's still plenty of time for a push to come in through underway by Jarrison Fan Club, but at least you aren't in a 5-on-1. A 2-on-3 is definitely very doable. You have a rough idea as to where these last 3 attackers are going in for a push, and so long as you can dodge both the stun grenades and also the fragmentation nades, it shouldn't be too big of an obstacle to climb over, especially now that instead of 50 seconds, you only have to worry for about another 20. It'll come down to mostly a one-sided funnel, as it looks like Jarrison Fan Club's opting to work their way in towards the Moto doorway leading in towards Church. And both Ali Princess and Bree are in really great spots, but Kato's actually gone down and dropped the hatch. She could go for a plant as no one is here to cover, and all of a sudden, Jarrison Fan Club, they have another great fighting chance to bring this round back in their favor, but Ali Princess has something to say about it, but she has to find more than just those frags. A great 3K, but she won't secure the fourth one on towards Kato. She gets off the plant just in the nick of time. A second round win for Jarrison fan club, but that round got a lot closer.
That was a close call, right? The coverage from long haul wasn't there. I loved Bree's positioning inside of blue, but as soon as Kato dropped behind the boxes there inside of Arsenal, that was a perfect spot to get that plant down. And honestly, I'm surprised that the plant didn't go down sooner, right? Because they had all of the control in the world, which Salvos kind of just gave that up, expecting a push in through church. Obviously, that's not where the push kind of happened. And then, well, Kato had a free kill. Very good effort by Ali Princess, though, to try and win that round back. But maybe a little bit of the synchronization gone from Wichita Wolves. We mentioned that injury that happened to Cass earlier, but she just so happens to be one of the main MVP candidates inside of Eris so far. Well, unfortunately, you're missing that sort of impact, and I think Wichita are missing her impact on the roam, right? We're seeing a little bit of discomfort from them, and, well, they have to get things going, Jet specifically, right? Because you're missing a lot of that, I guess, fragging power that Cass would bring to the board if she were here, but unfortunately, just not there yet for Wichita.
Not all that much, or not enough needed to secure a round win. That was a really close call, like you and I both mentioned. Ali Princess definitely did give the rest of Jarrison fan club a run for their money, but now things will tip back in towards a different bomb site, round number 3, going up above towards CCTV, a site that isn't as good as it used to be, but that's because Habana gets banned so much more than Maverick. Now that Maverick and Kaid are both banned now in unison, it'll make defending this a lot easier. Not so much a Kaid ban, I just figured I'd mention Kaid since you kind of have to ban him once Maverick gets banned too. It's kind of like a recurring pattern. I had to mention it. But anyways, this allows for bandit tricking to be a lot more successful, hence why Lock Tiger is bringing out the bandit. So this actually makes CCTV pretty much as strong as it used to be before the Habana changes. And the lineup, it does look to be a pretty strong one when defending CCTV. You've got the Wamai to hold rafters. You've got Smoke, which is, well, Smoke, and everything else just looks pretty textbook. So this could finally be the first round where Wichita Wolves actually has some success on their side.
Jarrison also have a lot of positioning around the site, though. We're seeing Velociraptor already in position to take down these bandit batteries, which will allow that CCTV wall to be open, but they have to deal with all of the ADSs that are there, and that frag grenade not actually finding anything, but that's okay, because the bullets will find the head of Lock Tiger. She was sitting on that bandit. Unfortunately, I think she was just caught out by the sheer presence that was outside that CCTV window. Also, Bagel taking a little bit of damage as well. Jarrison are looking very solid inside of this map, and now that they found that pick as well as some substantial damage onto Bagel, they can really just sit back and watch these angles and push Wichita to try and push into them, but Velociraptor relocating to that bottom floor. She's going to try and deal with some of the utility from down below as well. We have the first line EE1D getting popped, but unfortunately no one from Wichita Wolves moving, so not really giving away any of the positions, but that doesn't really seem to matter because all of Wichita are on the site anyway. Jet's going to get felled by Kato, who is having a very good play day as of right now, finding that kill with that Type 21, but with a minute remaining, Wichita still have the wherewithal to win this round, but that's slowly, well, not slowly, that's quickly dissipating as Ali's going to get felled on the Raptors, and that's even more site control for the way of Jarrison.
Their saving grace was Raptors control, so they could actually slow down a push coming in towards B from multiple angles, and now they've got Red and Cash Room. That's about it. No Nitro Cells, as well as Bree does not have one in her back pocket. Mine, a deadly shot on towards Bagel. It just forces her, Bree now in a 1 versus 5 situation. No Nitro Cell. She vaults in to try to stop the plant, but it's not going to be enough to end out the round as a victory. A flawless one in the hands of Jarrison Fan Club as they are dominating the scoreboard 3-0.
I mean, John, the coaching from Adam and Harrison, that's kind of playing. I think that's kind of playing a factor here, right? Like these takes have been so solid,
Yeah,
and I mean, Wichita
that
Wolves,
must
they
be
just
it.
haven't. I mean, coaching makes a
Are they
difference
actually the
unless you have a
coaches,
bad
or is that
coach.
just like a running gag too?
Crow is. I know Crow is for sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what Jazz is doing. I'm pretty sure he's prepping to cast later on today. Actually, he's going to be on the main channel.
Oh, say he's I'll say he's probably busy doing real life things, just Jasmine things,
Imagine, imagine.
running a successful media for Beast Coast, I believe it is. Still
Yeah,
chilling there.
Beast Coast for
That's
the
pretty
NBL.
cool. Yeah,
I wish I
that's
could have
kind
a
of
job.
dope. Me too, man. Me too. We can both be in our grievances together. Anywho, at least we're here casting right now. That's fun.
Dude, you're better than me, dog.
Well, you've. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not gonna lie. You're enjoyable to listen to. I can't say I'm the most enjoyable when I'm listening to myself. Probably because I'm correcting myself more or less when I do cast. Like, oh, why the hell did I say that? Like, I'll go back in the VOD today and be like, why the hell did I mention Kaid and Maverick in unison when I could have just talked about Mav? That's a great example.
I mean, we're both.
I think the only mistake you've made is Scott.
We're both self.
That's true.
Like we are like it's very commonly said that you're your own worst critic, and that has been so true for me. Like throughout my casting career, like I hate listening to myself cast. Dude. It sucks.
I hate the mistakes I make, not so much the voice. That's a problem everyone has. It's like, oh my god, I hate my own voice. You get used to it, I feel, when you listen to it enough. I'm just not used to all the, or I haven't gotten accommodated to all the mistakes I make. I still hate it every single time I make a mistake. Why can't I be perfect? Well, it's because we're human. Anywho, Wichita Wolves having a couple of imperfect rounds, but I mean, they still have another 3 in the defensive half, and a 3-3 split would not be all that horrible, especially since not every bomb site is as powerful as once used to be on Clubhouse. It's kind of been held a little bit back just depending on bans like Maverick or Habana, depending on what kind of poison you want to pick. But wow, what a shot by Mine, already getting control of Rafters. This is an explosive start by Jarrison Fan Club, as they could seize a lot more map control. Maybe if they find another pick here, they could actually end up running into the B bomb site and maybe going for a plant, so long as they don't have to worry about any more toxic babes. And now that Bagel is down to her last smoke, that actually could be massive. But another great shot by Mine, and Meg Ninja joins in on the action as well. It's already a 5-on-2 Santos, and now 5-on-1 as Mine finds a third. She's looking for a fourth, but gets denied by Bagel. But it's just her in a 1 versus 4 situation, and Velociraptor is there with a quick cleanup kill on the remaining survivor. That's going to be 4-0 for Jarrison Fan Club. They're getting better and better every single round, it appears to be.
Yeah, and Wichita Wolves, unfortunately, they've been stagnant. They haven't been able to turn around their fortunes, and we saw with that flawless or near flawless round there from Jarrison, right? The coaching or whatever it may be, that's certainly working out for them. And Wichita missed the hell out of Kaz, who would be finding these picks, and her sheer presence on the map too. It's just something that Wichita Wolves, I think they've depended on throughout their play days. And that sounds very brutal to say, and that sounds very critical, but I'm kind of just speaking facts here, John. It's been a rough showing from Wichita Wolves, to say the least. And I'm spitting. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, he's spitting. He's spitting facts.
I be spitting facts. I never stop. I am the truth teller of Project Eris, because I haven't been wrong, except for during predictions. That is a hard thing to get right, because I've been wrong numerous times on that. But last round, I mean, what else can be said about it? They were able to get Raptor control for pretty much free. All it took was one gunfight win. There wasn't any utility clear that happened. And then everyone else just kind of pinched down. We saw the players inside of lobby for Wichita, or inside the lounge, excuse me, and that got shut down pretty quickly too. So yeah, there isn't much else to say for Jarrison. These takes have been fast and furious, and Wichita Wolves just can't keep up from a pacing standpoint.
Yeah, Wichita Wolves, their setups are fine. It's literally just coming down to them not winning their gunfight. It really is that simple. Jarrison Fan Club, they continue to show more and more aggression and winning tons of fights that almost seem impossible at certain moments. And if you're in a 5-on-2, no matter how well your setup is, there's just nothing you can really do. There's just an overwhelming presence that Jarrison Fan Club has against you. Wichita Wolves, they're trying to maybe best this, trying to maybe go for some possible trades, as Alley Princess is playing underneath in Garage. I think Mine has spotted her out, though, with the drones. That could allow for a pretty easy crossfire, perhaps maybe some hard destruction, one of the back garage walls to flush out the Jaeger, and then solidify a 1-on-1 confrontation or 1-on-2 confrontation with E-Girl Jet. Nonetheless, though, Mine's still going up for the pop shots, doesn't have the pinpoint location, so she won't find that first entry off the bat. So a little bit of a slower start for Jarrison Fan Club, but once again, it's only a matter of time before they just start picking out more and more gunfights, and if they keep winning them, then this could turn to 5-0 sooner rather than later.
It's all depending on Raptor control for me, right? Because Ali specifically is holding a very powerful position behind the Great or underneath in Harry Potter, and mine actually taking a lot of damage. E-Girl finally deciding to shoot back, or Ali from down below as well. This Great, excuse me, could be a very powerful position to hold, and Jarrison might just opt to void the Raptors side in general. Instead, they're going to try and get this take going from construction, and with Velociraptor opening things up once again, it seems like, well, they can get control of pretty much wherever they want to, right? Wichita haven't been able to control these secondary positions, and then that allows the Jarrison fan club to really snowball that into a site take. And with E-Girl finally falling, that leaves Ali in a very dangerous position. But do they know that she's still underneath Harry Potter? No, they don't. Magna just taking a lot of damage, but Bagel falling, and well, the trades are coming out mostly for the side of Jarrison, and meanwhile, Bree has found herself in a 1vx, but that shotgun can certainly work wonders in the right hands. Garbage found that out the hard way, and with 40 seconds remaining, this is certainly winnable, but Velociraptor had the cross. She was inside the cash room this whole time, and Jarrison fan club, they're up 5-0. I don't think this momentum is stopping.
No, they're just kind of a pain train, to be honest, right now. They're picking fights left, right, and center, and they are refusing to lose them. It's been OV4s, OV5s. The only close call was round number 2, and that was a 1v1 where Ali Princess did give Jarrison Fan Club a run for their money, but just not winning the last fight didn't secure them that round win. So they are still 0 for nothing currently. And maybe Gym and Bedroom will be a lot different. I wanted to point that out, that Gym and Bedroom would probably be a really good idea to bring. You can run a castle strat because there's no Thatcher or no Maverick on the board, making it a lot more difficult to get Jacuzzi wall opened up. And now you have to rely a lot more on going up for the cash room clear, which can be very daunting if you have a lot of utility, but there's no Goyo, there's no secondary deployable shield at all for anybody. So the cash extension might be a little bit lackluster, which could honestly be a huge problem moving into the actual action phase of round number 6, because Wichita's like, yeah, we don't want to prioritize all that much utility going into Jacuzzi. Let's just go for cash room since that's what we do anyways. And that kind of might backfire in the phases of Jarrison, or pardon, not Jarrison, sorry, Wichita Wolves, my mistake.
I mean, that's just something that we've seen lacking from Wichita inside of this whole game, right? It's their lack of ability to force out any utility usage, their lack of ability to hold onto these extraneous sort of parts of the map, right? They haven't been able to slow down Jarrison. I'm pretty sure none of these rounds have gone past the 1 minute mark, right? Like, we haven't been in a time crunch situation pretty much at all, and that's just down to Wichita maybe missing Cass, right? And I hate to keep bringing it down to that point, but they're looking discombobulated, to say the least, and that's down to just Cass was such a presence on the map. She was very good at controlling this sort of pacing, and then her teammates were playing very effectively off of her as well in the other play days. And Jarrison are taking full advantage of the fact that they can get a lot of map control for free, and Wichita haven't responded. They're still sitting in these anchor strategies, and there's only so long you can hold, John, until, well, everything's just going to start crashing amongst you, and I think that's what we've seen so far.
Yeah, this is not looking to be a hopeful round for Wichita, but I am kind of hoping though still, even though I said it's not looking that hopeful. I still have a little bit of resemblance that we could see a victory come out by Wichita Wolves, but they also have to win those gunfights, not even just generalization of map control, making sure that they don't overextend themselves, knowing when to fall back, etc., etc. And so far, Jarrison Fan Club, once again, they're wasting little to no time. They're already just chilling out near the main balcony, gathering a plethora of sight lines. They're ready to pick more and more gunfights because they're simply winning them. Everyone here is going either positive or neutral on the side of Jarrison Fan Club, but luckily, Wichita Wolves will win that first gun engagement. A Candela will disorientate Lock Tiger so she won't find another one, but E-Girl is there, downing and finishing off mine. We're now to 5-on-3. victory, with the tides actually favoring the side of Wichita Wolves, as Jarrison fan club, they just seem locked out of the actual building. They finally managed to try to get control of Cash Room as Garbage enters that part of the map, but other than that, they are just kind of walking into their own demise. Ali Princess, a great frag on towards Garbage. Meg will get a trade eventually, but it's a 4-on-2 predicament, something we've seen countless times on the side of Jarrison fan club, but now Wichita Wolves, they're giving them a taste of their own medicine. Great frags by Ali Princess at the very end, and for once, we see a resurgence by Wichita Wolves, and they pick up a masterful round victory to bring us into the second half.
That was great from Wichita. That was a great hold from them, and that was just their ability to win these gunfights. It shouldn't come down to something as simple as that, but that's exactly what happened in that last round. It all started with that kill that I think it was Lock Tiger getting that kill onto the person that was trying to take into Red Stairs, and that was huge. Yeah. And then Ali just said, "Hey, I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna go absolutely I'm gonna be a nutcase on this Jaeger." And she popped off. I think she got like 3 or 4 kills before the round was over, and Jarrison fan club didn't have a response. And I want to say it was also down to the fact that, well, it was a tertiary bomb site. They finally went over to the gym, and I think that kind of threw off the Jarrison fan club a little bit. Maybe they were down to the basement and try to attack there, but obviously that wasn't the case. In Wichita, they stopped the bleeding for now, but Jarrison still hold a very substantial lead. Wichita are going to have to start stringing these rounds together, or Jarrison's going to find themselves on match point. Simple as that.
Especially in Clubhouse, which you can still argue that there are at least 2 really good defensive bomb sites. Church, great example. Maybe not this time around since Albana is available, so depending on how you want to defend Church, maybe go for an SSG roam. That could still make your life a little bit easier. But CCTV being played off the rip, they've got a great lineup for it, Jarrison does, and that could definitely be a huge complication. I like the Capitao pick by Wichita. However, Velociraptor, she is rocking the Wamai, so that is a direct counter to the man, which is kind of unlucky. But, you know, if you prioritize that utility properly, like throwing out stuns or maybe even smoke grenades out before going for the Capitao asphyxiation or smoke bolts, then it's not going to be that big of a deterrence. You just have to have the communication there. And Wichita, clearly they have some set of communication, so I'm not entirely worried about it, but that is the key factor. Timing needs to be critical here.
Timing has to be absolutely perfect, but it seems like Wichita want to take in over this construction side, or maybe in towards the gym and bedroom side. It doesn't seem like they want to put too much attention towards that other side of the map, the CCTV side. But as I say that, Bagel trying to get the thermite charge off on the B wall, it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen though, with Mine sitting in that position, and they also have to deal with the frag grenades that are coming in from Lock Tiger. So Mine could potentially be in a place of danger, but the pressure hasn't really shown itself yet. Wichita struggling to deal with the utility deny. I think that's that Jaeger from Garbage really spelling that danger, and Kato will find the opening kill onto Ali Princess. It's a very unfortunate way to start off the round, because these opening picks, well, they can be so brutal, but unfortunately Wichita not on the winning side of it.
Not the best of starts here. Those fragmentation grenades kind of being wasted. I personally would have probably preferred seeing a Buck just because he has stun grenades, and then it's a little bit easier to do that vertical play underneath, but not the worst idea, just the fact of just burning them through ADSs off the rip. That was probably the bigger issue, more or less, not so much bringing out the sledge. Losing that player off the bat as well, and you are kind of locked outside still with just about a minute left on the board. Things are looking quite disastrous for Wichita, as they're kind of desperate at this point, really. They don't have that many options to pick and choose from. Rafters is still being locked down quite effectively by Jarrison. You kind of have to funnel yourself into Cash Room at this point. You might have control of the plat wall, but that is really it. And Jarrison, they're still simply hitting their shots. Velociraptor at 1, and Meg, a brilliant pre-fire as she gets rid of Bree from the equation as well. And a second one, masterful shots by her. And it's just Bagel, once again, 1vx situation, as she'll find one onto Velociraptor. She'll end that reign of terror, not Velociraptor, but Velociraptor, as I slurred my own speech. But that's okay, because Meg is not missing her shot still. That's something easy to talk about. And like you mentioned, Sandbread, we're on match point already.
Get out of here, John Commentate. Get out of here, buddy. dude, like
I
I
can't
can't
believe I
believe
said
you.
Bawasawapta before I said sandbread. I can't believe it.
I was expecting the Velociraptor joke to come out earlier, but I guess not. But now that you
Maybe you'll
called me
get a
Sandbread,
yeah. It's just yep. The floodgates have opened up now, as they would say.
we haven't popped enough jokes. Ah man.
No, we
I
haven't
mean,
for a community cast.
ah man, dude, I'm crying absolutely
Awkward.
actually.
Awkward. Oh,
Oh man,
nice.
shout out to our observer awkward
Yo,
for
that's
posting it.
Mario. Mario taming Yoshi right there. It's a Chris Pratt gif from Jurassic Park. That's why I said Mario. I still can't get over that, man. That's so funny. Chris Pratt is Mario, and I
Dude,
I
that's
think I
why.
think Jack Black is Bowser. I don't know if that was an actual joke or if that's actually true. If Jack Black's gonna be Bowser, I saw
That
that
might
somewhere
work.
online.
That might work.
I mean, yeah, I think it'll work. I think it'll be hilarious, but I just still think it's funny. You wouldn't think of the Jablinski Gaming as the Bowser. You wouldn't think of that. He's a
I,
FNAF. He's a video gamer.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think Star Lord would have been like he wasn't my first pick for Mario, right? Like he like short Italian
True.
plumber, and then you have freaking Star Lord playing him. So that's gonna be a weird movie, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, exciting stuff. At least if you're a Jarrison fan club enjoyer, then you'll probably find this match pretty exciting too, as they are doing really well. We're already in the action phase, and it's looking to be a bit of an SSG roam, kind of tried and true, as they don't really have anything that kind of sticks away from that common team composition. So that's going to force away a lot of time on the side of Wichita Wolves. However, they could simply ignore it and maybe try to go for a secret and also dirt take. But if they only go in from one of those two directions, then they are funneling themselves in. And fun fact, funnels are never good as an attacker, no matter what team you are. It's been attempted in every single tier, and every time it's happened, I think almost 99.999% of the time, you just die and you lose
Yeah,
the round. And Wichita Wolves, they don't have room for error. So maybe going in for a one-sided funnel will not be the brightest idea, and I don't think they're attempting that. So they're just kind of vibing in the middle floor.
yeah, they to create some separate entrance points, right? But with mine sitting here inside of the lounge, that could spell a lot of danger for Ali Princess. But actually, it won't be mine finding that kill. That's instead going to be Kato finding that shot. I think it was through the hatch, but nonetheless, it's a very unfortunate circumstance. Unfortunately for Velociraptor as well, just not able to find that kill. E-Girl waking up a little bit inside of these recent rounds, and Jet, well, playing in that sub role, it's a certainly hard role to play in, but commendations. I think the commendations is the word. Commendations for you for filling in for the Wichita Wolves. It's just a very unfortunate set of circumstances that they've been dealt with, and they're gonna have to deal with that later on in the season. And they've been struggling as of recently. I don't think they found a win in a couple weeks, and you can't start letting these points get away from you. Jarrison, well, they've been in the driver's seat for the past 3 weeks. They're currently sitting at 2-3, and well, it seems like they're going to put together a 3-match win streak. But as I say that, we're actually in a man-even situation. But with Jarrison starting Wichita starting these picks or starting these sort of vertical plays, these discomfort, the floor reconstruction, whatever you want to call it. Jarrison fan club starting to be in a bit of a dangerous situation.
Getting a bird's eye view of that Arsenal bomb site, looking pretty decent so far for Wichita. However, they've lost that man advantage. Kato, a second to her name, and she's still trying to keep her team alive. They don't want to go to another round. They want to seal this one out 7-1 fashion. It's going to be a bit of a hasty decision for Wichita just to kind of funnel on into Garbett as she is holding close quarters gun engagement here with the Mossberg at hand. Meg from behind gets rid of Bagel. Mine jumps in on the action, and at the very end, there goes the Mossberg. There we have it. GG's in all chat. Some great sportsmanship and a great decisive victory for Jarrison Fan Club. They'll take it 7-1, and that's it. That's the best of one. Nothing much else to say.
So this is how me and your first cast is gonna go.
I guess so. I guess just wasn't meant to be, man. We got all
Man.
dressed up and everything. I got on the Hawaiian drip. You got on the frog hat. I mean, we put in so much effort, man. We really did. All for nothing.
100%.
And our
100%.
internet didn't mess up either.
Yeah, honestly,
Like,
that's a miracle. That's a miracle for both of us.
maybe it was good that it didn't go to that long, because maybe that would have changed. Because knowing me, My Wi-Fi likes to die on out on, like, the last bits of the of the match, especially on BO3s. Map 3, it's just like, it's just no bueno.
Dude, yeah, I was watching your SFCL cast yesterday, and I think you had a couple of those moments, and I was like, "Bruh."
Only a handful, so that was convenient, only a handful. I was dreading getting on to cast for them as I had previous issues before even going live, but
Aw.
it ended up not happening all that much. I got lucky, and it was a really fun match too. Got to interview AmbiR6. That man is a character, I'm not gonna lie to you, but hey, that's a different league. Might as well go back into Project Eris. It was a fun match, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you,
I
and
think it was
it
great.
was
I think
still
it
a
was
good
fun,
game.
right?
Yeah.
It's been cool watching Jarrison kind of like take the league by storm. They started off struggling very heavily, but these past few weeks they've kind of put the pieces together, and well, Wichita Wolves, unfortunately that Lego set has been absolutely destroyed, and you're gonna have to find a way to rebuild and regain, because right now yeah, unfortunately for this week, right, you had to play without Cass, and it's an unfortunate injury. You can see the frog hat on my head right now, and that's just my sign to you, Cass, to please get better soon. We love watching you play. You're an absolute nutcase on the field. So I want you to get back as soon as possible whenever you're ready. But yeah, Wichita, unfortunate. It was a struggle for them straight up.
Yeah, and it's funny too because their team comps really weren't that bad. Only like some nitpicky stuff that could have been
Hmm.
better by them, to be honest. They had the right idea. They just
Right.
weren't winning enough gunfights. Like at the end of the day, Rainbow Six Siege, it is still a first-person shooter. I make that
Yeah.
point a lot because you will literally you'll get gun diff sometimes. It
Right.
happens. Just get better at winning your gunfights or knowing when to pick them, when to back off, and you'll be a lot better off than what you anticipated because your team compositions they weren't that bad. Maybe communication in terms of utility dump as well, because that wasn't a really big point of contention either.
Hmm.
Those are like the two major things. Maybe slightly better communication and proper utility usage, and then
Hmm.
just winning gunfights. That's like really it. Although it was a very one-sided affair, it could have not been like that. Ali Princess was also doing really good on the frag potential as well from time to time. She
Hmm.
found a lot of really successful kills, and it could have been at the very least 2 round wins for Wichita. They did get close in a 1v1 confrontation on the second round, but I think that concludes it for both you and I, Santos. I don't think we have anything else underway, sadly.